Okay, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time to Jimmy's First Gen Mini Rescue. I'm Jimmy, trying to keep these first generation Mini Coopers on the road and operating well. Anyway, I'm going to read today's fortune, then I'm going to get into what today's video is about. So, today's fortune is: life is not a matter of holding good cards, but sometimes playing a poor hand well. Okay, so in other words, you might not always have the best hand, but it's what you do with it that makes a difference. If you have a bad hand, maybe you bluff, maybe you fold, maybe you got to move on and do something else or whatever. So it's not always about having the best hand, it's how you play the cards you're dealt. Yeah, I like that one. All right, today's video is it's kind of a necessary evil if you meet a few criteria. If you got a Mini with a sunroof, you might have this issue. Also, the convertibles, some people don't know there's drains in the front of the convertible roofs as well, but we won't, that's not today. Today is just about the sunroof versions. But if you park outside like I do, and you don't cover your car, you may have to clean out your tracks, your drain tracks every now and then. There's things you can do to prevent this. First of all is to get a hard top without a sunroof. Then you won't have this issue at all. Second, if you have a garage and you park inside, and then when you're going out and about in town or driving around or whatever and you got the sunroof, if you put a cover on your car, you can help mitigate some of the problems that come with it. I got covers for all of our cars. I use the half covers for the convertibles, but I don't cover them. It's just lazy, too much of a hassle. You want to just run to the store real quick, you got to undo the cover, stick it in the boot, go to the store. You're not going to cover it at the store, so it's going to get dirty in the tracks. When the drains get clogged up, that's when you get water sitting in your tracks. And they don't, sometimes when you got your windows down, you make a turn and the water slides to one side and it leaks, or you hear water slashing around, your drains are probably clogged. There's a couple of ways to do it, but I like to do it with a few tools, and I'm going to show them to you right now. Okay, for me, there's two tools usually that I use to clean them, and that's I have an air compressor that I'll blow air through the tubes to get all of the dirt to go away. I also have a nozzle with a long end, which I use. Anyway, I'm gonna stick this on in a minute, but because I don't want the compressor to start up. But I also use a vacuum. I got a house vacuum, but I use it with some thin adapters, and that way I can try to get in the tracks and clean out any of the dirt that's in there. But let me hook this up and then show you what I do and the sequence I do it in. Okay, let me explain a couple of things first before I get into that. Both this car, the blue one, and the original gray one have the sunroof on them. Both of them are clogged up. The gray one, however, does drain. So either the back drains are open and the water drains out the back, or maybe the front drains are just clogged slightly and they're just, like your arteries barely passing through. But it does stay dry. However, this one, the water stays up here, which is why I have it parked on the ramp forward first, because the back drains, and I'm going to show them to you, were partially clogged. So they were draining very slow, but it would drain. So while it's just parked and sitting and I'm not using it, I put it on ramps so that it's leaning back. Now, if you have a driveway that leans, you drive up your driveway and it's at an angle, park it nose first, and then it'll drain out the back. The back doesn't clog as easily as the fronts, but I'm going to show them to you and show you what I do. Might as well start here. First, I leave the sunroof closed in the first in the first step. I come to the back. Now, if you don't know, this right here is a drain, and on the other side there's a drain. You can see a little bit of moisture in there. And while the sunroof is closed, I take my air and a rag, stick it in, and I give it a squirt. Look at that water. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, I hope you caught that, because when I blew the air through the back, a lot of the water splashed up here through the roof, which is designed to do. It's designed to let the rain through. It's not a complete seal, but it stops most of the water, and the water that does get through is supposed to go out the drains, and you're supposed to be fine. However, my drains are clogged. So I did that with the roof closed first because I didn't want anything to splash into the car. There is a seal around the glass that stops the water from getting inside the car. So there's a track. So I blew out that. Now I'll vacuum it, and then I will work on the front drains. But I'm gonna unplug my compressor so it doesn't start up while I'm talking. Okay, here's the tracks. Let me show you. This seal right here seals the sunroof from inside the car. These tracks stay dry. These tracks are the wet ones. I hope you can see that. But these tracks are the wet ones, and the inside tracks are the dry ones. I'm gonna vacuum out here, and then up front there's a hole, and that's your front drain way up here in the corner. And I don't know if you can see that, but we'll try it. But there's a hole right there, and that's your front drain. I take my air and blow down in the front drain, and you'll be able to hear it underneath the car right behind the front wheel. So let me vacuum out this drain. Now, I don't have an adapter for my shop vac, or I don't have a specific car vac, so I just use the vacuum from the house with extensions that are skinny enough to fit this drain. I kind of wipe the track. And now it's time to try the front. I don't know if that did it, because I don't hear the air coming out down below the front tire here. So I may have to go underneath and find the hose and see if it's clogged at the bottom of the hose. But I'm gonna do the other side first. So remember, it's the outside track that you need to make sure is clean. The inside track should always be dry. The inside track here should always be dry. The outside track could be wet, but it should not have standing water. But let's clear that out. Some people try to put like some sort of pipe cleaner down here. You got to be careful because there's a little metal tube that goes to a rubber hose, and you don't want to poke a hole through the rubber hose. So you got to be careful what you stick down there. It's got to be very soft, and the tip can't be sharp, because if you poke a hole through that, you'll get water that starts leaking inside your car and your headliner, and that opens up a whole new can of worms. This car and the gray car, I had the headliner replaced, and when I did, I put on a brand new rubber hose section and I double zip tied it so that it would just stay on longer when especially if I'm blowing air. Now, if you're blowing air, you don't have to blow too much. You just want to blow enough to dislodge anything that's kind of just trapped in the bottom. Anyway, let's blow some air down this one. I'm not sure how much that got out because I still didn't hear that. So I'm gonna climb underneath the bottom. I don't know how much you'll be able to see under there, but I'm gonna go ahead and climb under the bottom and see if I can find that tube that it's supposed to drain from, and see if it's clogged. Okay, to test this one, I'm just gonna pour some water down the outside track, and the water should come out here. Hopefully not too much. Not too fast, but it should be clear. And there it is. So I know the back drains are clear. The front, I'm still having concerns, but I'm going to pour water down the front and see if it drips out through the bottom. Okay, I poured some water down the track in the front, and my ramp is wet, which means it's probably draining a little bit at least from underneath the tube. However, I want to investigate further because this is the car that I didn't do the headliner, and I suspect that the tube that's on the inside, here might be loose, because I got a little bit of drip inside when I did that. So I'll have to investigate that further. Okay, for the gray, both of the fronts, when I put the air, I could hear it down at the front wheel. So both of those are clear. I cleared the back fine. You might have saw I had a, this is like one of those get the hair out of your drain. Like if you got a kid with long hair or you got long hair, I don't have to worry about that. But I use this in the back and it goes in about that far, because the actual drain is way up here, so you can You can see how far it'll go in. So just to kind of get it unclogged. But when you blow it out, it's all good. So this one is dry. That one needs some attention. It'll be on my list. And yeah, so let's wrap it up. Okay, as I was saying, I'm going to take off the A-pillar covers inside and investigate further on the front drains, because on this blue car I don't think I double zip tied the hose. So what I may end up doing is just replacing the entire hose and put 2 zip ties on the top, make sure everything is clear and start from scratch, because I don't think I know I didn't do the headliner in this car, but I think I have access just by taking the A-pillars off. I'll show you that if and when I do it. But for now, I'm gonna leave this car on these ramps because I do have the new front tie rod ends that is needed for this car. They came in the mail from FCP Euro, not sponsored. However, something to note, this car is a 2003. It's an early 2003. So you have to put in the build date of your car when you're ordering the front tie rod ends, because there may have been a slight difference. I know there are different part numbers for this blue car, which is a 2003, and my gray car, which is a 2004, early 2004. It was a March car, March of 2004. So yeah, so make sure when you're ordering your parts, even if they're very close, you know, most of these things are similar, same part, it's a different part number for that car versus this car. And I'm pointing that way because the gray car is behind you guys. All right, that's it for now. Thank y'all for watching, and yeah, stay tuned. I'll be making more mini videos. Like I said, I got to do the tie rod ends on this car. All right, so that being said, have fun with your minis, and thanks for watching.